Hey everyone, it's Desiree, and I am here with part of the collection. Yes, there is so much more to the Not Too Shabby Fall is Coming quarterly release. I love the fact that Not Too Shabby does a quarterly release. There's subscriptions that they have that Jamie has as well, and they're absolutely fabulous. But a quarterly release, I don't know, it just kind of ties everything together. And plus, you know, every quarter you can expect a release. And as I said, this is just part of it. So make sure I'll have their shop linked down below so that you can check out all the other beautiful pieces that are available as well. So let's start with the stamps and the dies, and then we'll go to the stencil and then the paper and the goodies for the paper. How's that? Okay. So this stamp set here is called Pretty Pumpkins, and they are some beautiful pumpkins. That what I like about these pumpkins is you can change them. And what I mean by that is just simply change the color. And you'll see that as we get down. So get down into this pack. So beautiful florals are on top of the pumpkins. There's a beautiful vine that's going through. Your sentiment is fall is in the air. Hello, fall. Give thanks with a grateful heart. It's a beautiful, beautiful sentiment. And the coordinating dies that are available separately. So you have dies for the sentiments, the pumpkins, and then you also have a die for that sprig, that leaf sprig, which is awesome. So beautiful stamp set. We're gonna have a lot of fun with this one. You're gonna see 2 cards with this one. This is a standalone die, and it is called I Love Fall. So all of these pieces build an image with these dies. So you have the sentiment that you're going to be able to build. You have a tag. You have a pumpkin that you can build. You have an adorable little critter that we can build, and you'll see this all come together. Again, I love fall. Very interesting stencil called Pumpkin Patch, and it's a background stencil. Call Me Crafty Owl is part of this. So I'm going to show a way that we can use this without any of your frustration. Now, I don't mind frustrations, I'm just saying, but I'm going to show you an easy way to stencil this. That pumpkin topper is right close to the pumpkin itself, and show you the steps to make it easy so that you do not care. There is no care. And still get color. We can still get color on our pumpkins. So that's going to be fun. And here, pumpkins, different colors, pale blues, pale teals, pale pinks, grays, and they still look like pumpkins. Again, we can change the look of an image by simply changing the color of it. There is another 6x6 paper pad available in more traditional fall colors. So if these colors are not for you, there is other options. So let's page through this so that we can see the beautiful papers that we have. We have a wagon with the pumpkins, some beautiful backgrounds, pumpkins, a plaid with a little bit of glitter sense behind it, a sense of glitter, another wagon with a little bun, a beautiful vine detail, another beautiful background, glitter, and then your pumpkins again. So remember, the pad is 6x6. It's 24 double-sided designs, and you get 4 of each design. And again, it's just a beautiful palette. It's very soft. Teals, blues, pinks, grays, beiges, and your greens that are coming into that. So we're going to have fun pulling in cards with just the pattern paper because we can let that do our work for us. Some beautiful ephemera die cuts that match Delicate Pumpkins paper pad. Let me pull these out. So you get that beautiful wagon with the pumpkins. And I love the texture of these. And these are nice. Nice and thick. Nice weight to them. Beautiful floral. We've got some plain pumpkins here. We've got a beautiful candle, a butterfly, pumpkins, a lantern, a beautiful wood border that can be used. Bun bun. More pumpkins grouped together. And I love the fact when it comes to the die cuts, you're kind of getting these large ones and then you get the small ones. Same florals in blue. You have that trunk again. More florals. The lantern decorated. Butterfly. Bun bun. I love the bun bun. Can you tell I love the bun bun? Again, cluster. So beautiful images, nice weight, bigger butterflies. And then you have a blue pumpkin as well. So let me gather these up. Put them back in the packaging. I don't want to lose any of those. So I'm going to work with these along with the pattern paper. And then we have embellishments. So we have enamel dots here that match the color scheme of the Delicate Pumpkin set, the pattern paper. There's 84 in here, and you get 3 different sizes of the enamel dots. All right, so these are all of our pieces that we will be working with. And I'm going to be creating 3 separate videos after this that shows 3 different ways to create your cards using these items here. Let's just jump right in for our first card. We're going to do some watercoloring. So I grabbed a piece of watercolor cardstock, which is Canson XL, and I'm going to be using the Pretty Pumpkin stamp set along with the coordinating die. And that's where we're going to get our sentiment and our images, of course. I'm stamping these with my VersaFine Black and then covering them with clear embossing powder. I did treat the paper with my anti-static powder, and I did stamp these twice. Remember, if you're using a cold press watercolor paper or any paper with a texture, you may just have to stamp them twice. That's where a stamp positioning tool does come in handy. Wasn't quite sure what the card or how many pumpkins I was going to use, so I was going to double stamp just by flipping my cardstock, but I didn't put that one pumpkin down far enough, which is okay. We are just going to reposition those, get those covered with the clear embossing powder, heat set it, and then we'll position that last pumpkin. I don't end up using the second set of pumpkins, but that's okay. They are held in a little pot for when I want to create another card with pumpkins. Yes. Once I have all of these stamped, we're going to grab our watercolors. Now, don't get nervous. This is very simple. We're just literally doing a dry to wet, which means my paper is going to stay dry and I'm going to add the wet watercolor to it. We're not adding water to our watercolor paper first. I'm also going to take care of stamping the sentiment, and I wanted that to have a green background, and I'm going to use gold embossing powder for the sentiment itself. The sentiment I chose is Hello Fall. These images are great for any coloring medium that you may enjoy, whether that's alcohol markers or colored pencils or anything else that you want to use. So here I'm just going to be mixing. I want to get a light orange, so I'm using my yellow, my orange, and again, I don't know the exact colors. These are my Mission Golds that I've pulled out. They pretty much stay near me. And now I'm just taking that pigment, dabbing a little bit off on my paper towel, and I'm just going to color in the pumpkins. While the pigment is still wet onto my cardstock, I am going to come in with a darker shade of the orange and just drop it in. Let the watercolors do the work. The watercolors are just that. They have fun in water. They dance, they move, they blend. And you can see right on that one pumpkin just how that orange is just coming up. And if it doesn't seem that it's moving because there's not a lot of water there, we can make it move. But just have fun with the process. Try something new if you haven't done watercolors. They're a lot of fun. To get such vibrant and vivid colors. Remember, as watercolors dry back, they do go lighter. So this bright, vibrant color will still be there, but it won't be as bright as what you see on the camera here. For the second pumpkin there, it's a little darker. Add a little bit of shade of brown, a little bit of darker red to that bottom, and it's just going to bleed to the top. I went back to the first pumpkin and just added a little bit of water, a little bit of color just to get those colors moving again. And now we're working on our third pumpkin. I am using a size 6 round. It is the staple of watercolor. You can do so much with it. You're going to see what's the beautiful thing about watercolor brushes is the point that they get on a round brush. And that's something that you want to make sure. You do want to use a watercolor brush to make sure that it goes into that point. And I love the Princeton Snap It brushes. Very economical, very reasonable in price, and they are just wonderful brushes. I do like to add sometimes either a white watercolor or a tan, a buff color to my watercolors. It gives them a different kind of look. Doesn't allow them to be as transparent, but we're working on these roses and you can see just how small they are, and this brush tip is just going right in there, dropping in a little bit of a darker color. Believe it or not, that is my white with the purple. Again, that's what I love about watercolors too. You know, I can have that purple sitting right on top, and when I pull it, it just goes right back to the white. Again, watercolors is about having fun mixing your colors, seeing what you get, seeing the different hues that you can achieve as well. So just having fun with that. Working on the pumpkin stems, just creating some different greens. Added a light green, now I'm dropping in a darker green. Again, letting it do its work for these larger petals, and you can see just how I'm getting into those fine details, and it's not bleeding into the orange. It's also not bleeding into the orange because we used an embossed line. We used our clear embossing powder to create this, to help with this image, so that kind of creates a wall that won't allow the watercolor to mix through. You know, usually you wait till that one section dries if you're not using that embossing powder, but this was just fine. We have our pieces colored, they are dry, and now we are going to get everything die cut using the coordinating dies for the Pretty Pumpkins stamp set. I will make sure that I have the products that I used and that I showed in this video linked down below, or I will have a link to the Not Too Shabby shop, because there is so much more available in this collection. This is just a portion of it. After taking care of the sentiment, meaning embossing it, I also used the shadow die, the die for the sentiment, and die cut 4 more times from the dark green cardstock so that I could get that raised without using double-sided foam squares. It makes it really easy. This is going to be a landscape card, and I'm going directly on to my standard A2 size card base. Not creating any mats, not creating any borders. I'm going to come in with my tumbled glass Distress Oxide and just add a little bit of blue back there. Just having some fun. putting a little bit of shade back there, and we're going to arrange our pumpkins. We're going to make sure the pumpkin with the flowers to the bottom, we're going to make sure that one's to the front so I don't lose them. We're going to glue the other two directly onto the panel on either side of that area where I have the blue oxide. And I'm just adding these extra leaf stems to that other pumpkin just to give it some dimension. We're going to come in with our double-sided foam squares and prop the center pumpkin up and just push that down a little bit and have that vine come across. The sentiment's going to go directly in the center above, and you can still see that blue. We're going to have some fun with the enamel dots, and let me tell you what, with the enamel dots, I usually don't use enamel dots, and they are pre-sticky. Yep, that's a technical word. But I have found many, they just don't stick. You got to still add the glue. You got to still do this. Not these. You can see I'm trying to move that one, and it's not going anywhere. So, yay for the enamel dots. This is our first card, so stay tuned for card 2 and 3. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. Make sure you hit the bell so that you know when those 2 videos are available. They will be out very soon. I do hope you enjoyed the project today, featuring the quarterly release from Not Too Shabby, and this is called Fall is Coming. And yes, it is. Pumpkin and spice and everything nice if you're one of those people. I love the look, but I am not a pumpkin spice person. Everything turns into that. Guys, enjoy the process and have fun. Don't stress out over it. Just have fun creating your art, and remember what's most important. Always be creative. And I'll be talking to you in the next one. Till then.